think the coaches made some decisions to lose the game quite a few times on both sides. On both sides, both coaches made some bonehead shit. That's why we won, because we did less bonehead shit.
I mean, I guess that answers the question, right? We won the game. That's why we win. I mean, winning's winning. I guess freaking Vin Diesel would say.
Win.
When you score more points, you win. What's up? What's up? What's up? Dolphins family, Fins Nation. What's going on? We had a nice break for the bye week. If you didn't notice, we haven't had an episode in a couple of weeks, I don't think. We took a little break since the bye week. There wasn't too much going on, and we kind of had busy lives, so we took a little break. But anyway, this is Outside the Pod. Welcome to Miami Dolphins podcast. I'm Danny, and my brother Jules is here with me as usual. We're going to talk Miami Dolphins. We're back in more ways than one, right? Are we pitching a comeback? We're about to see. Something's getting real, and the schedule's looking pretty whack. So we'll talk about it, though. But first, kind of wanted to touch base on a couple of things that are going around the team mostly. I would say around the league, but mostly the team. Well, really one guy that left the team. And I saw right before it was 2 weeks ago when we had our last game and the Eagles had, I think, Monday night or something. And Jalen Phillips was there. And I don't really care. Jalen Phillips is gone. Not ours anymore. But they did ask him about his comments about being the best thing in his life that he got traded. And he said he doubles down on that statement. You know what I mean? My thought is that Jalen was hurt. He was hurt getting traded. And he feels betrayed, I think. For him to say something like that, I think it was a little bit of betrayal in his mind from the team. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of it that way. He's been in the area for a while now. We're playing in Miami, stuff like that. I kind of get it. It kind of makes sense. But what else is he gonna say too? Even if it wasn't that, like if you're going to a new team, you're going into a new fan base. You got to get in good with the fan base, so you're gonna have to say the right things and stuff like that. I mean, if I was him, I'm not gonna say, this sucks. I'm trading the sun for a miserable winter in Philly, something like that.
Yeah, of course not. But I mean, it was 5 years in Miami. I mean, I'm sure he's got a bunch of friends, a lot of people that loved him. He was, a lot of people's favorite players. I mean, he threw some salt on my wounds, bro. Like, I thought he was one of my favorite players. Not really anymore. Because he was kind of like, whatever. I don't love y'all like the way you did us or did me. So cool. All right. Good riddance. I hope you have a shitty ass freaking career in Philly.
Yeah, I think, I don't disagree with you. I think there's two sides to that, right? Because one is you're going to a new fan base. You're going to want to get in good. But you're right. There is some saltiness there because you're right. I think he had a good thing going in Miami. Like, he had a lot of fans. He's in a good situation. I mean, the team is terrible, but I think he liked playing here. And so, yeah, if you were let go but again, I think it had to happen. It's a business decision.
Yeah.
He really hasn't played a whole season here and blah, blah, blah. You got to do it.
It wasn't a bad move. We all saw it coming. Like I said, personally, I thought he was a good player. I liked him.
Yeah.
I liked what he was doing for the community and for the team, for the locker room. He seemed like a really good dude. But I think the reason he's reacting the way he is that I think he did feel a little betrayed by the organization, getting traded, thinking that he was probably one of those guys that should have stayed on the team for, the majority of his career. And that's probably why he got a little bit hurt and had to come out or something like that, like, hey, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. Kind of put it in our face, shoving that in our face, so we all understand that he's moving on. So a couple of comebacks besides the comeback that the Dolphins are about to provide to their fans. Austin Jackson is set to return soon ish, hopefully. What do you think? How do you feel? What kind of impact do you think he should be impactful, but I feel like the offense is probably running a little different than when he was still on the field.
Any offensive line help is awesome for this team. The last time he was playing, or that when he plays, he was healthier in 2023. Their running game was probably the best we've seen in the last decade or so. So that was so if we are able to get even a fraction of that back, I mean that's awesome. I'm excited for that. And hopefully he can stay healthy. That's the big question mark, right? Because he so far hasn't been able to achieve that. It's just basically staying healthy. So we'll see. I'm hopeful for it, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I mean, he could be one of those pieces that puts us even closer in a better position for sure to win out. Really, this is what we're talking about this week. You know what I mean? Like, there's a good chance that if playing well, there's a good chance that the Miami could at least, win 9 games. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think Austin Jackson could definitely be the help there. So another player that looks also to be coming back is Darren Waller. And I'm gonna stand where I'm gonna continue to think that we're not gonna see Darren Waller again. That's my take on it. I don't know specifics about his injury and how bad he is. But who knows? Maybe he's remotivated if the Dolphins win a couple more games straight, and it's getting real. Maybe he's like, you know what? Let me get in there. But I still feel like, I'm not saying that he didn't get injured. I think he did get injured. He's not malingering. He's not pretending that just because things were down with the team and people are getting fired and the record's not looking what they hoped. But I think it helped him make that decision, right? It helped him say, you know what, put me on IR. You guys are freaking, losing anyways. You don't need me. And that's probably why it was easy for him to step away from the game. But who knows? They start winning the game. Maybe he gets remotivated. What do you think?
Man, I'm hopeful. Because if he's not returning, then why even do this? If you're really trying to keep him from playing this year, or there's something going on that he's not going to play this year, like you're saying, like why not just put him in IR or whatever for the for the rest of the season? I don't know. Why give us this hope at this point? Is what I'm saying. Why open that window for a comeback? I don't know, man. I'm hopeful.
I mean, yeah, and in short words, I'm paraphrasing. It sounded like McDaniel says there's a chance, but I still think this is kind of it's further than Austin Jackson for sure.
Absolutely,
I think Austin Jackson in the next couple of games we'll see him hopefully in the game. So that's what's coming up. Some help, some comebacks from some players, and then come back from the team. We'll see. But week 11, let's recap really quickly, just because it's been, a lot of people are probably, put this behind them already. It's been a few weeks. But let's touch base on week 11 just real quick. We did win 16-13. It wasn't a pretty win by no means. But there were some good things. There was definitely some ugly things, but we won. They won the game, and it's hard enough to go all the way to Europe and try to play a game in a different atmosphere a huge legendary stadium. So yeah, there's some factors there that could have affected the whole game. They were playing against the Commanders team that was without Jaden Daniels and was without Debo Samuel, right? Yeah. No, McLaren. Yeah. So Debo was there. But one thing that I noticed, the running back, Rodriguez, was beating them up. 15 for 79 yards, about 5 yards per carry. And I think 15 carries. I'm thinking the fans, Commander fans, are probably thinking the same way I used to think a few weeks ago. Whereas, like, keep feeding the running back the ball. That's your playmaker, man. I believe that the Commanders should have ran Rodriguez. Do you agree?
Definitely, man. Like, we were talking about, we were chatting during the game. Like, I was worried about him. He was running aggressively, bouncing off tackles, and then they started combining that with short passes to Ertz, and that
Mm-hmm.
combination was trying.
That's what's scary.
Remember that was getting scary there for a bit, and I thought we were in a lot of trouble. But then, I also saw there was a few penalties called on us. Some of them bullshit. Sorry to say, but yeah, I think they definitely went away from that. 15 carries is still quite a bit, but not. They should have given it to him 25 times, which is what I've been saying about Achan the whole time. But yeah, I think that kind of rubbed off on him. They got away from running the ball, and that probably was a mistake, I would say. And there was a few coaching mistakes on both sides, by the
Mm-hmm.
way,
Yeah.
this whole game.
And let's talk about another one. Fourth quarter, both teams decided to go for it on fourth down and goal, and both gave up the ball. I think the Commanders were to take the lead, and also I believe the Dolphins were to tie it or to take the lead as well, or vice versa. So I think the Commanders were to tie it, and the Dolphins were to take the lead late in the fourth. Yeah, either way, either one of those times that the game could have ended without going on overtime. Both times, I thought the field goal should have been the way forward. Not only for Miami, but for the Commanders too. I was like, they should have kicked the field goal. Like, what are we doing here? Right? I mean, I get it. And maybe both coaches are kind of similar in the thought of kind of being aggressive. I know Mike McDaniel's probably one of the guys that goes for it in fourth down, not only on the goal line, which is where he needs to stop, because as far as running the ball in the goal line, we've never been that good. We haven't been that good this whole season. So, yeah, mistake. What say you?
The way the game was going, yeah, I would have kicked the field goal.
16-13. Yeah.
I would have kicked the field goal because it's looking more like a bad baseball game than an actual football game at that point.
Mm.
And so I would have taken the points. If you're gonna, and if let's say you are gonna do that, you're gonna take the risk. Then show a different wrinkle, man. Like it was a really
Yeah.
slow developing play, and something that the Commanders had already seen earlier in the game. There was nothing. You got to come up with something new, a new wrinkle, a fake or two, something different. There's no way that play was going to work against anyone, really. There's no way, man. So yeah, that to me was a bad decision, unless you're going to show something new, and you had a good feeling, you had a good hunch about that specific play or something like that. But in the way this game was going, people are really, really having a tough time scoring anything. You just take the points right there, man. It's easy.
To backtrack, it was both. It was when we were tied 13-13, and both teams failed to take the lead, and it would have been the game over, right? Because that was it. It would have been the same score, 16-13. It's just one of those teams who whoever should have made the right decisions to kick the field goal would have won that game. But hey, good for us, I guess. But in overtime, another weird decision. Miami wins the coin flip, and they elect to kick. Do you remember? Did you remember?
Actually, you know, ever since they changed the rule to, both teams having to have at least one possession, that's actually been a typical thing. So I thought it was the right call, right? Because
Well, no, no,
you're
wait,
gonna
wait.
you have to get the ball afterwards. You just know if you're forced to do either a field goal or a touchdown, you would know that first, you know what I mean? So
Right.
most teams, as far as I know, most teams
They've
select
been they've
to
been
kick.
kicking.
They've been kicking, dude. Yeah.
It sounded a little bit weird to me. But either way, worked out for us, right? Because of Jack Jones' interception. You remember
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it worked out for us. Jack Jones' interception. We got kind of lucky. So they didn't move the ball at all, really. Jack Jones grabbed it, basically won the game with a field goal after that. But do you feel, again, and it's kind of probably several games, the Jets one is one that the win against the Jets is one that I also think about, is that do you think that the Commanders lost that game or did Miami win? How do you feel personally?
Yeah. Well, I think the coaches made some decisions to lose the game quite a few times on both sides. On both sides, we both coaches made some bonehead shit, but yeah. So I think we made less bonehead shit than they did. If it
So we
was,
won.
that's why we won, because we did less
Yeah,
boneheaded shit. I mean,
I guess that answers the question, right? As we won the game, that's why we win. I mean, winning's winning. I guess freaking
when you
Vin
don't
Diesel would
lose, you
say.
win. when
Yeah,
you
when you score more points, you win. So, but
No, but you're
obviously,
right. You're right. You're right.
this is
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, move on, man. Move on.
Okay, no,
It's
no,
depressing.
but
It's
yeah. I
depressing
mean,
to
wait,
win like
I when
in that way.
in that way, right? Yeah, and that's the thing. When I think about the Dolphins and coming back and just showing us that they still got fight, is that I want to see people getting crushed. I want to see people getting their asses kicked, bro. And there's been a couple of games like that where I'm like, these dudes played awesome. Like, who are these guys, right? Obviously, a Buffalo very recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buffalo game was like, who the hell are these guys? Anyway, this is the Von Achan show, by the way. This is the we should change the name to the Von Achan fan podcast because this dude 21 carries for 120 yards, 5.7 yards per carry, and just I mean, you can't stop this kid right now. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what the stats say. I don't care what PFS says. He should be top 5 running back. And in my mind. And I don't know. I don't understand why anybody sees it.
Hell no. He's our MVP by far.
Yeah, by far.
By
Yeah.
far our MVP. And I've been
So I didn't
saying
want.
this. If we give him more than 20 carries a game, we should be winning that game.
Yeah. I want to give out a shout out before we move on to Juju Brents. Thank you for helping out the defense the last few weeks, man. I hope you get better and return to the team. I know it ain't till like next February when you're set to return or whatever, so you're probably out for the season. But yeah, appreciate the help. So we're gonna miss him because I know that Razul Douglas is still a little banged up. It looks like, as far as the injury report, it looks like he's good. We got a couple of banged up players like Bradley Chubb, Benito Jones, Aaron Brewer, and Jalen Waddle are all questionable as of right now for the Saints. A little banged up, especially with Brewer, kind of concerning. Waddle. I mean, all these guys, right? Benito Jones, Bradley Chubb. I mean, some of our best guys are banged up right now. So a little concerning that. The good part is that, yeah, they had a long week, so they're coming off a bye. So, they should be getting a little bit of time to recover. And also, this is probably the easiest matchup out of the whole season.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that. This is a game that we should win convincingly. Whether it happens or not, we'll see, because sometimes we play down to the level of other teams, right? But yeah,
Exactly.
this is a game we should win convincingly, and it's a good time to bring players back like Austin Jackson and things like that. I hope so, man. I wish to see some good offensive line play and see how that helps the offense, because that we've been predicting some fireworks since the preseason, and we just haven't been seeing it. Some flashes here and there, but man, I really want to see a 100% healthy offensive line and see what happens.
Yeah. And this game is going to be in Miami against, like we just talked about, probably the worst team in the NFL right now. Probably them and the Jets are, in the running for first pick. And yeah, it should, like Jules just said, this is one of those games that we should win. But again, the worry here is that we always play down to our competition. Hopefully, we're seeing a blowout. And just continue to get this ball rolling in the right direction into a good comeback, or at least just a respectable season. There's no reason to tank. The market out there for first round picks this season, I feel like when you read upon it, it's not as great. It's not the season to get the too worked up about getting the the first overall pick. But I think Tua's still going to be around as the bridge quarterback for the next year until they find their future. So, anyway, not too much about the future. Let's talk about right now. And we talked about the Saints, and there's not too much to get into besides I kind of want to touch the rest of the schedule just to get our minds rolling about
Let's do
what we
it.
got coming up. And following this is the Jets, which I think I think they had Tyrod Taylor, right? Starting this past week. So already moved on from and you know what's scary to me is Tyrod Taylor also does good against the Dolphins. So but either way, again, playing down to our competition, but that's another game that you should be winning. So I mean, we're looking what 6 and 7 at that point. We're starting to push 500.
Yeah.
And then we got the Steelers. They're up and down. Didn't they just lose to the Bengals?
No.
No,
Oh,
who
right.
did they?
The Ravens, right?
I
The
thought they
Ravens
just.
was it?
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, we do got the Steelers, and we know how we feel about the Steelers right now. They got our guys from us in trade. I told you Jonnu Smith wasn't going to do as good as he did with the Miami Dolphins. I knew that was going to happen. I think Mason Rudolph started this past game, so I don't even know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's 40
He's
freaking
got the
one or whatever it is.
left wrist injury, right?
Huh?
Yeah, he had a
Okay.
left, but he's supposed to be back. Probably when we play them, he's supposed to be back. Yeah, they did beat Cincinnati a couple weeks ago, but they lost at Chicago last one, the
They
last game.
lost to Chicago. Yeah, they
Yeah,
lost to Chicago. So that's, I mean,
but that's Mason Rudolph, right?
yeah, with Mason Rudolph, right?
But yeah,
Yeah,
they
I mean,
lost 4 out of the last 6.
yeah, yeah, they're 1-1 against the Bengals. Lost to the Seahawks. Lost one to the Bengals, Chargers, which we lost to again as well, and the Bears, which could sometimes they're inconsistent as well. You know what I mean? Sometimes look great, sometimes not. They got the Bills next, then Ravens. We talked about this. We talked about them before when we were saying that they're gonna be tired coming into Miami or going to face Miami after Bills and Ravens. Remember that?
We hope. And it's a Monday night game. It's a Monday night game too, and it's a good one. It's gonna be
Right.
a good one now. It didn't look so good a couple weeks ago, but now it
Right,
looks
right, right.
better, right? It looks
Yeah,
better.
especially if
We
we win
might
the
be
next couple.
Yeah, we might be 6-7 at that point. And the thing
Mhm.
is, tiebreakers for us are gonna go through the AFC North. Because the Bills and us, we play the whole AFC North at this point. So tiebreakers are going to go through them. The head to heads and then the common schedule and all that stuff. Yeah, it's going to be tricky. So this would be a must have for us to make it. Because you got to think to make a playoff, you got to think we got to go 6-0 these last few. We got to win 10 games. Otherwise, we don't make it. Even at 10 wins, we're still
And
gonna
there's
have
still a
to
chance we don't.
have
Yeah.
have some tiebreakers in there, and it's gonna be
Right.
rough.
Yeah, I mean, it is a miracle, but it's not impossible, especially
No,
the way that things are laying out, right? Aaron
it's
Rodgers
it's
being banged up.
right. It's moderately probable in my eyes,
Yeah.
but we'll see. This
Yeah.
is the tough one
Yeah,
right
but
here.
one mistake could kill it all, right? So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got the Bengals after that. Joe Burrow, I'm not sure if is he due to come back anytime soon?
He's playing
Because
tomorrow.
without
That's what I
Oh,
heard.
okay.
Yeah,
So with Joe
I
Burrow
say it's
might
a
be a
mistake,
different story, but I mean at the same time, Joe Flacco seems to kill us all the time as well.
but
So Joe Flacco was kind of a Miami Dolphin killer in his time,
yeah, he
and I
was.
think he still has the ability, man. He still has the capability to throw it downfield, to do something dumb you know, like run for 40 yards or something on a play
Mhm.
somehow against the Dolphins. It always happens to us. So not saying that even if Joe Burrow's not there, um, it's still going to be a hard win against the Bengals. And but it is in Miami, so that's a good thing. But it's
Mhm.
that one's Sunday night.
I believe so. Yes, Sunday night. So we got a
So
Monday night
I guess
followed by
the
us.
Heat's not going to be on it.
Yeah, and it's a short week too because we got Monday
Yeah,
night and then heading into a Sunday night.
yeah, we'll see. That's going to be an interesting one again. But again, like we talked about, is I mean, if we beat it, and that's the thing, if you beat the Bills the way you beat them, and the Bills have had their stumbles since then, even not looking as probably as clean as they would like to be, but I still think that they're gonna come back just like the Chiefs always do. They've always done. They've lost a few games here and there, but they're still gonna end up being a good team at the end. Um, but we still were able to beat that team, that very good team, convincingly, and so we still got the capability. After that, we got the Bucks. Baker Mayfield was in a sling this past week, so another banged up quarterback that we got to face.
Yeah,
And look, I'm all about beating people at their best, but mostly what I'm talking about today in this episode is our chances of winning out. And because there's several beat up quarterbacks that we got to face, I mean, the chances of this happening just gets better for the Miami Dolphins. And the more they win, the more motivated they're going to get.
mhm.
And they're going to just pick up steam. So I don't know what Baker Mayfield's situation is going to be here in another 3-4 weeks, but he was banged up this week. He was in a sling for his shoulder. And again, another banged up quarterback.
Absolutely. We'll see. I mean, that's their adversity. We went through ours too, right? We've gone through our shit. Like at the beginning of the season, we got a whole fucking secondary was new and you know playing a lot of young guys, offensive line, young guys, defensive line, young guys, whole new dang secondary. I mean, we went through our adversity. We got our asses handed to us, man. So nobody's gonna feel sorry for these people getting hurt right now. I mean, that's part of it. We went through our adversity. They're going through theirs. And if we spank them, then screw it.
Yeah. So and
There's
so
a short
now,
for you right there.
yeah, yeah, breaking down the shorts, putting out some more shorts. Anyway,
Right? I mean,
the
they're
Bucks
banged up.
after the Bucks.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, following, I was just gonna say that if this rolls our way after the Bucks, we're 9-7 going into New England, and you see that to be determined
Yeah.
slot
Oh
nine
yeah.
and seven against
Man.
the AFC East champs, probably at this point.
Yeah.
They flexed
I
that
think
game to Sunday night or whatever. You know,
I don't know, man. It's gonna be freezing in Foxborough. But you know what? I don't think they'll flex it at this point. Let's say we are 9-7, and the
it's
Patriots
a good
already
game.
AFC champs. They probably
They're
have a
sitting some
number one
people.
seed at this point. They're probably sitting people, dude. You know what I mean? At least,
Just
at least for the half.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you
So
definitely don't want to get certain players hurt, man. If Drake
yeah,
May is in
absolutely,
the same trajectory as he is right now, just
absolutely,
playing like the second coming of fucking Tom Brady, like like fucking he. I mean,
bro. They're
yeah,
nine and
I
two
would
right
sit
now.
him. I
They're
would sit him.
9-2, sitting pretty at the number one seed right now. I mean, the only threat really is the Broncos, but I don't think the Broncos have enough firepower to unseat them as the number one seed, right? Is it just them two, right? That are
ten
like
and two.
right there. They're 10-2 now, each of them.
They're 10-2.
Yeah,
Well,
I was,
the Patriots are 10-2.
yeah,
I don't
man,
know
they're
about
sitting
the
pretty,
Broncos.
man. They're sitting pretty, man. Uh,
And they got the Giants, Bills, Ravens, Jets, us. So they still got the Bills in their future, and the Ravens, who are starting to pick up steam. But I mean, either way, regardless, that's gonna be, if we show up to that game at 9-7. That's a badass last game. I mean, how that's like that's so exciting to me. Because there's probably playoff implications. We have to. It's like probably a must-win game. You know what I mean? Against our biggest rivals, basically. Although any team in the AFC East is our rivals, but I mean, it just becomes so great. It could be such a great game. I'm just saying that, and
yeah,
I'd be very excited to see it.
absolutely. Hopefully, like old times, and hopefully we show up, man. I mean, really all you want is to see competitiveness from your team, and that's all I want to see.
Yeah,
It'd be
and
nice to run the table, go to the playoffs, but you know,
in most of our losses, some a couple of them, the defense was ass, but in most of our, not only that, but some of them are just the offense just could not get it started, including this Commanders win,
yeah,
right? Where I mean, we drove the ball down the field and then just couldn't put it in, but a couple times,
yeah, there was a
but
penalty or you know,
yeah,
Jalen
yeah,
Waddle
the
drop.
key. I think the key to the remainder of the season, especially against some of these teams that we're gonna face, and especially with some of Juju Brandt, some of our banged up guys on the defense. Obviously, Jalen Phillips is gone. Chop not performing to his ability. I don't know if that's something because of the scheme or the way Anthony Weaver runs it, but Chop hasn't been in the backfield much to say. So I think the key to the remainder of the season is the offense, man. They need to be able to devise a plan and be able to adjust from that plan when it's not going your way. And it's just, and we all know that hasn't been easy for this team and for this coach. As soon as his game plan starts to look like it wasn't the right game plan, he hasn't been able to adjust. It hasn't been like, hey, first half we scored 6 points. Okay, let's come back second half. I got new stuff for it. And then something happens to where, hey, we scored 14 points in the second half. It's never worked out that way. It's always much of the same. Score, if anything, 3 more points, and then we lose 24 to freaking 13, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna have to be the offense, especially in that the middle of those 6 games or whatever. I guess the middle: Steelers, Bengals, Bucks. We're gonna have to score some points, and you're right. It's gonna have to come. McDaniel's gonna have to game plan. Pull a tremendous game plan out of his capri pants, man. He's gonna,
Yeah.
that's the only way. That's the only. And you're right. But what do you? I have a question for you though. Let's say he runs the table. The Dolphins run the table, go 10-7, get to a playoff game. Does this change your mind about McDaniel and give him another year, at least another year?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, how could you not? How could you not,
Uh,
dude? I don't care how it's done. I don't care how it's done.
I do. If they
You
run
can't
the
get
table.
lucky. You can't get lucky for like 8 weeks straight, bro.
Hey, I think he
There's
can.
no way. He
I don't
keeps
know,
his
man.
job, dude. He keeps his job.
If
Unfortunate.
it
I
if
mean,
it if
I'm not
it's
even gonna say unfortunate, because how do you know that the next coach is gonna be better?
well, you don't
You
you don't
have
know
to
that.
you
But
have
if
to get
it's
faith on him.
all I'm saying is if it's a game like the Commanders game where we just made less boneheaded moves, right? And we win out because of the same thing. I'm not saying we need to blow them out. I'm just saying we need to actually be competing. I want to see clock management, minimal penalties, minimal turnovers, play calling and adjustments, offensive adjustments and shit like that. Some new wrinkles, something that get excited about the game plan, man, to save his job.
Well, yeah,
Because
but dude, the
otherwise, if
only
it's
way
just
they
like the
go 10 and
Commanders
7
game,
though is
all I'm saying is if they all look like the Commanders game, then it's just
where
more
they
of the
barely
same. It's
win, or
just
they
mediocrity that we're just extending mediocrity for another year.
just win by default, right? Like they just win
Because
because the other team lost.
and
I
and
don't know.
and that could very well be these 6 games, dude. Like imagine this: we got a banged up. All these guys are banged up, right? Burrow he might play tomorrow, but if there's any inkling of him getting re-injured or anything like that, they've got 3 wins. Like this is a boneheaded move already for them. Like just sit him down for the rest of the year. Not gonna do anything. So, let's say they get smart and sit him down. Now we gotta face, Browning, whoever, Flock, or whoever it is, right? Uh and then the Bucks are beat up. The whole passing game is beat up, right? Quarterbacks, receivers are all banged up. Freaking Rodgers is banged up, and then we go to play at the Patriots, and they're sitting down half
They're
their
sitting
half their
people.
squad because they already got the number 1 seed.
It doesn't
So
matter.
that's what I'm saying. It's already looking like we're getting lucky here at this point, and then plus we're getting healthy in some ways, right? So it's already looking like some of that. And then again, we're going to have more of the same next year. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, man.
But
It's
but
I
I
got to
mean,
see
maybe
more
they
than just the wins.
maybe well, yeah, of course. And my thought is, the thing is that I just can't believe that you could be that lucky. You know what I'm saying? From what, 2 weeks ago, beating the Bills, beating the Commanders, and then win the rest of the what next freaking, I don't know how many weeks is it now.
6.
Shoot. 6 more weeks straight. That's 8 weeks straight, right?
Yeah, I mean, I
You
guess
can't be that lucky, bro. No team is that lucky besides the 72 Dolphins. And maybe the Patriots in 2000, was it 16 or whatever?
and the Bears in 1985.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying, though. But
Yeah,
those are
yeah.
just elite teams. And you can't say those teams
They're the same as us this year? No.
are the same as
Not at
us.
all. Not at all. Not even close.
Look, man. All I'm saying is that it's hard. It would be hard for anybody in this league to fire him after he went 8 straight and get into let's say he makes the playoffs, get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
There is
On
no
paper, it's gonna look great.
freaking way, bro. Huh?
On paper, it's
Yeah,
gonna
on
look
pay
great.
it doesn't and that's what I'm saying. It's like you only have to give him the benefit of the doubt that it was him that turned it around. There's no other way to put it, bro. You can't argue it in court. There's no way, bro. You know what I
In the
mean? You
court of
just gotta
public
eat it.
opinion. In the court of
Unfortunately,
Dolphins Twitter.
and hopefully we're all wrong, and it's not just more of the same. He continues to progress and just become, a great coach after that. Just learn from his mistakes now as an experienced coach. And unfortunately, and hopefully, I would say, that's the case, because that's the thing, dude. If we fire him and they're not going to get a big name coach, they're not going to get one. They're going to grab the best thing I can think of is Shula, maybe, right? A first time head coach still.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe
Gruden.
Vance. But no, I don't even think they'll get Gruden, bro. It's not going to be an old guy, old name, prior head coach. And that's the thing. Who knows if they're going to be any good, bro?
Yeah.
Who knows if they're ever going to be lucky enough to win 8 straight and get into the playoffs at 10-7. There's no way, bro. There's no way and that's the thing. It's like, first, thinking this with on the right mindset, with being unbiased, this is still very unlikely. You know what I mean? Which is funny, the difference between 10-7 and making the playoffs and 9-8 is that you'll probably get fired at 9-8. And 10-7, you're probably keeping your job. That's gotta suck for him. You know what I mean? Like, he has to win out to keep his job.
Yeah. No,
in my opinion. But I mean, we've been wrong before, man. We've been wrong before.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Great show, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that, that's it for us. We'll close it down here. We'll talk about the next game. Hopefully, very happy and laughing about it, and continuing to have this conversation about how we're gonna continue to, or how we're gonna produce this comeback and get into the playoffs. But we'll see you guys next week on Wednesday night. Hopefully, be flexible. We'll see you guys next week. Fins up. Happy Thanksgiving, bro, to you and to the Fins Up Nation. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys have a good one. Fins up.
Happy Thanksgiving, Fins up.